Mom, that's my twin brother. The words sliced through the air like a siren. People stopped walking, phones lowered, conversations froze. On the upscale sidewalks of Buckhead, Atlanta, where Teslas hum quietly and gold door handles glint in the sun, a little black boy sat on the curb, barefoot, holding a cardboard sign that read just one word, food. And the boy shouting? He was white, wearing a pressed navy suit, pointing, shaking, as if he'd seen a ghost. His millionaire mother gripped his wrist, whispering through clenched teeth, "Don't make a scene." But the boy wouldn't budge. His hand stayed extended. His voice rose again. "Mom, look at him. He looks just like me." The crowd glanced between the two boys. One spotless, one shirtless. But the resemblance? Undeniable. Comment what state you're watching from, because what happens next, you won't believe it. But what came next was even worse. Buckhead, Atlanta. It's the kind of neighborhood where Teslas double park for oat milk lattes, and nobody honks. She steps out of a black Range Rover, beige power suit, designer heels clicking like punctuation. Her son hops down in a spotless navy suit, his blonde hair's slicked. Shoes, custom Italian leather, the kind that never touches playground dirt. "Did you like brunch, baby?" He shrugs. "It was okay. You barely touched your croissant. I wanted pancakes." "Well, they don't serve pancakes at Le Bilboquet," she snaps gently. He frowns. "But they charge $9 for orange juice?" She sighs. "Sweetheart, that juice was cold-pressed." Across the street, the world looks different. Cracked concrete, a flickering streetlight, even though it's barely noon. The ice machine outside the corner gas station is busted. Again. Graffiti scars the bricks behind it. That's where he sits, shirtless, shorts frayed at the hem. Knees dusty from sitting on hot pavement too long, but he's not crying, not begging, just holding that cardboard sign. Food, not help, not money, just that one word. He watches the boy in the suit, and the boy watches him back. Their eyes lock, and for a second, just 1 second, it's like a mirror. The little millionaire whispers, "Mom, why does he look like me?" She doesn't even look. "Don't point, that's rude." "I'm not pointing." "Yes, you are. I think I know him." She scoffs. "You don't know boys like that." "But I do," he says, voice soft. She grabs his hand. "Let's go." They step off the curb, and that's when their worlds collided. But what happened next flipped everything upside down. His name was Jordan, 7 years old. No backpack, no shoes, no words either. Not that day. He didn't speak much, not because he couldn't, but because hunger has a way of quieting everything. He'd been sitting there for 2 hours. People walked past like he was part of the sidewalk. But he wasn't waiting for money. He was waiting for someone he didn't know he'd recognize. He lived 6 blocks away with Miss Dolores. Used to be a nurse, now mostly forgets which pills are for her and which are for him. Still, she tries. She calls him baby boy. Feeds him canned beans when she can find them cheap. Social Security covers the light bill, most months. Across the street, Preston Whitmore, also 7. Born, or at least raised, into a world where silence is called calm and mess is unacceptable. Same age, same height, same chin. But if Jordan was invisible, Preston was the press release. Preston wasn't adopted from foster care. Claire Whitmore, tech founder, self-made millionaire, went through a private fertility clinic. Donor vetted, gene screened, Ivy League profiles. That's how she liked things, controlled. The paperwork called it a single embryo transfer. What Claire didn't know, what no one told her, was that 2 embryos survived. The clinic didn't mention the second, not until 7 years later on a random Saturday sidewalk. "Preston," she said, voice sharp, "do not point." "I'm not," he whispered. Her tone dropped. "People like him, you don't stare, got it?" He kept staring. "Come on." "No, Preston, I know him. You do not know him. I think he's me." Claire paused, for just a beat, then forced a smile as someone nearby glanced their way. "Let's not be dramatic, sweetheart. You're nothing alike. His eyes are like mine. They're brown. My eyes are brown." "Exactly," she said, tugging him harder. "Now stop." But Preston didn't stop, because the next words out of his mouth changed everything. Claire clutched Preston's wrist a little tighter, subtle, but firm, like she was afraid the air between him and that boy might be contagious. Jordan hadn't moved, still holding the cardboard, still staring. People walked past him like he wasn't there. But they saw him. You could tell by the way they stepped around, the quick glances, the sudden switch to the other side of the sidewalk. One woman clutched her purse. A man near the valet whispered, "That sign's probably stolen. Some scam." Claire heard it, didn't flinch. She was used to the assumptions, as long as they weren't directed at her. But Preston kept staring. "Why does he look like me?" he asked again. Voice quieter this time, not scared, just confused. Claire let out a breath. "Because some people just have the same features." "But he's black," Preston said. She crouched, her smile fake and frozen. "Listen to me," she said softly. "There are people in this world who will try to make you believe things that aren't real. You don't let that happen, okay?" Preston didn't answer. His eyes were still on Jordan. "He has the same birthmark," he said. Claire blinked. "What?" "His leg. Right under the knee. Same spot. Same shape." Claire didn't check. She just stood, wiped invisible dust from her jacket. "We're leaving." "But Preston." He stopped talking, but he didn't stop looking. Jordan hadn't blinked. Another passerby leaned down near Jordan, dropped a crumpled dollar into the space beside him, didn't say a word, didn't ask a name, just walked away. Claire muttered, "Let's go before someone starts filming." Preston's voice was barely a whisper now. "Do you think he has a mom?" Claire didn't answer. "Do you think maybe you were wrong?" She froze, right there, one foot in front of the other, traffic rolling behind her, Preston's hand still in hers. Just for a second, she didn't know what to say. And then Preston asked something that made Claire freeze for real. What he said next, it didn't just stop his mom. It stopped the whole block. "Mom," Claire kept walking. "Mom, that's my twin brother." The shout rang out, loud, sharp, full chest. Pedestrians turned. Even a guy on a scooter stopped mid-roll. Preston's finger was aimed straight at Jordan. No hesitation, just raw truth. Jordan looked up, slow, quiet, didn't blink. Claire spun around, face tight. "Preston, lower your voice." "He looks like me," Preston said. "He is me." A couple holding iced coffees slowed down. One of them pulled out a phone. Claire stepped between her son and the boy on the sidewalk. "Don't say that again," she hissed. "But it's true. There are people recording. I don't care." Claire leaned in, whispered through clenched teeth. "You are embarrassing me." Preston pointed again. "He has my birthmark." Claire shook her head. "You've never even seen your own." "He showed me." Claire turned. Jordan was already lifting the edge of his shorts, and there it was, same spot, right under the left knee, a soft brown swirl, identical to the one on Preston's leg. The one the pediatrician said was rare but harmless, the one Claire used to call his angel stamp. Silence fell. Even the barista from the coffee shop across the street was watching now. Then Jordan spoke. Just one sentence, soft, raspy, but clear. "He had a bear named Rufus." Claire froze. Preston blinked. "How do you know that?" Jordan looked up at him. "Because I had one too." A man in a Braves jersey muttered, "Yo, what is going on here?" Claire backed up, face pale. "That's enough," she said. "We're going home." But Preston didn't move. He stepped toward Jordan, slow, cautious, but sure. "Do you remember the song?" Jordan nodded, and then they both started humming. Same rhythm, same tone, same exact notes. Claire whispered, "No, no, 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 no." Someone in the crowd gasped. Phones went up. The humming stopped. Then Jordan looked at Claire, directly this time, and said, "Why'd you leave me?" Claire's knees buckled. She grabbed a lamppost to steady herself. And then Preston asked the one question that stopped everything and shattered everything she thought she knew. A security guard from the shopping plaza steps over, late 30s, clipboard tucked under his arm, radio on his belt. "Ma'am," he says, calm but firm, "is everything all right here?" Claire forces a smile. "Oh, yes, just a little confusion." Jordan speaks, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "Ask her why I was left at St. Joseph's." The guard blinks. "Excuse me?" Claire stiffens. I don't know what he's talking about." Preston turns. "What's St. Joseph's?" Claire exhales. "It's a hospital." "I know that," he snaps. "Why is he saying he was left there?" "I don't know," she repeats. "He's confused." Jordan doesn't blink. "You had two." Claire freezes. "What?" Jordan looks at Preston, then back at her. "You didn't lose one. They split us." The guard shifts his stance. "Ma'am," he says slowly, "do you know this child?" "No," Claire says quickly. "I've never seen him before today." Preston frowns. "You sure?" Claire says nothing. "Mom," Preston says, "I want a DNA test." Claire stares at him. "What?" "I want a test." "You don't just—" "Preston, this isn't—" Jordan cuts in. "Your clinic, Emory Reproductive Center." The security guard's eyes widen. Claire's voice drops. "How do you know that?" "I was born there, September 14th, same year as him." Claire whispers, "No." Jordan adds, "Room 7C." Records say unviable embryo, but I wasn't unviable. They just didn't want two of me. A woman filming says softly, "Oh my God." Press, is that true? Claire's hands shake. She can't answer. They told me only one embryo implanted, she says. Her voice cracks. They said the other didn't survive. Jordan stares at her. But I did. And the truth behind that lie was darker than any of them were ready to face. The video hit Twitter in under 30 minutes. A white boy in a suit screaming, "That's my twin brother." A black boy on the sidewalk. A woman dragging her son away. By nightfall, it was on Channel 11. Then CNN. Then everywhere. Headline: Millionaire tech CEO confronted by son over abandoned black twin on Atlanta sidewalk. Hashtags trended by morning. Twin truth, stolen brother, Emory exposed. Journalists dug into Claire Whitmore's past. Founder of Kite, an AI app for digital parenting. Net worth $47 million. Image untouchable. Until now. The Emory Reproductive Center held a press conference. A record-keeping failure, they called it. An unfortunate error in embryo reporting. We regret the misplacement. Misplacement. That's what they called a whole child. Claire went silent for 2 days, then issued a statement. I wasn't told. I believed what I was given. I never would have. But people weren't buying it. Not when Jordan's hospital ID matched hers. Not when intake logs at St. Joseph's confirmed a drop-off date just 1 day after Preston's birth. Not when old clinic staff came forward anonymously saying there were twins. They were told only one. Claire was summoned for a formal inquiry by the Georgia Medical Ethics Board. Meanwhile, Preston made his own choice. A local reporter asked, "Do you still live with your mom?" He shook his head. "I stay with Jordan now, and Miss Dolores. We share a room." The anchor blinked. "Why?" Preston looked into the camera. "Because that's my brother, and I'm not leaving him again." Claire requested supervised visitation. Preston declined. "He can come by when he wants," Jordan said, "but not alone." Social media flooded with support. Celebrities posted. Past IVF parents shared their fears. A GoFundMe set up by a stranger raised $340,000 in 2 weeks. For Jordan, for Miss Dolores. For a chance at stability. And the clinic faced 2 lawsuits. 4 more families came forward with claims of embryo misplacement. The director stepped down. The state launched an independent audit. Claire returned to work briefly, but shareholders pulled out. Her board voted her out by the end of the quarter. She tried apologizing again, on TV this time. "I didn't know," she said. "I wish I had known." Preston didn't respond. But Jordan did. They knew. They just didn't think I mattered. But what these boys did next restored more than just each other. It gave an entire neighborhood something it hadn't felt in years: hope. Claire stepped down quietly. No press conference, no farewell speech, just a resignation letter sent to the board and a few lines posted online. She didn't fight it, didn't blame cancel culture, didn't make excuses. Instead, she did something no one expected. She sold her stake in Kite, then took the first check, 7 figures, and launched the Second Crib Foundation. Mission: reunite families separated by embryo errors, closed adoptions, and medical misplacements. Not just with lawyers, with therapy, with housing, with real support. She didn't put her name on the website, didn't want credit, just progress. Meanwhile, Jordan started school. First day, he wore Preston's old backpack. "No one's gonna mess with you," Preston told him. Jordan smiled. "You sure?" Preston nodded. "I've got 2 fists and a brother." They enrolled at Hope Elementary, public by choice. Not because they had to, because Preston insisted. "We go where kids like Jordan go," he told Claire. "No more private walls." Miss Dolores, she got full-time home care, paid for by donors, strangers, and that viral GoFundMe. She called every nurse baby, except Jordan. He was still my boy. The old gas station? Leveled. City zoning fought it, but neighbors backed the rebuild. And in 6 months, a new structure stood, the Jordan Preston Park. Half playground, half community fridge. No locks, no gates, Preston's idea. "Every kid deserves a brother," he told the mayor, "or at least a safe place to wait for one." Claire showed up to the ribbon cutting, stood at the back, didn't speak, just watched the 2 boys race across the blacktop. A reporter asked Jordan, "Do you forgive her?" Jordan paused. "I don't know," he said, "but I'm not mad anymore." Preston added, "She's learning. We all are." A pause. Then Jordan looked straight into the camera. "I just want people to know. I wasn't the mistake. I was the missing half." But that's not all that changed, because what these 2 boys built together, started something no one saw coming. What would you do if your child pointed at a stranger and said, "That's my twin"? Would you listen? Or would you pull them away like Claire did? Would you pause long enough to see the face staring back at you? Or would you miss it? Would you believe the system or your own child? Because across this country right now, there are kids like Jordan, split by paperwork, forgotten by process, filed away under error, and some of them aren't even old enough to speak yet. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like part of your story was missing? Have you ever had someone tell you that didn't happen when every part of you knew it did? Have you ever been told to be quiet when all you wanted was the truth? Jordan wasn't asking for fame. He wasn't chasing headlines. He just wanted someone to say, "You were never the mistake." And Preston, he could have stayed quiet, lived his life in comfort, but instead, he chose his brother. So now I'm asking you, what's your take on this? Comment below. I'm reading every single one. And if you believe that no child should be erased, if you believe truth matters, even when it's uncomfortable, then share this. Not for clicks, not for clout. Share it so no other Jordan gets left behind. And if this story moved you, subscribe, because we don't just tell stories here, we reveal what the world tries to hide.